To those who find this letter, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't live with the mistakes that I have made. I was 12 when I got the call that my mother had passed away. As any kid would, I locked it away, refusing to believe that it had actually happened. I watched her waste away for too long, that the idea that she now was just gone, I didn't know how to process it. She was all that I had, the only light in my story, surrounded by what I thought at the time to be monsters. But little did I know, the ones I considered monsters were nothing compared to what came next. Yes, I know this letter just seems like the rambling of a sad person, but please wait just a little longer. I want to talk about what had happened, but it's just so hard, even now, so many years later. The morning I got the call, I ran to my room. I grabbed all my stuffed animals and my last picture I had of her. I put all the stuffed animals into a circle. I put my mom's picture right in the middle and curled into a ball crying. I wished, I prayed, I pleaded to wake up from this nightmare. I couldn't be left alone like this. Why with them? It couldn't be true. Please, please tell me it wasn't true. I think my wish came true. Just not how I had hoped. Nothing for a while seemed to change. Life went on. I moved into the house with my brother and father, changed schools, and closed myself off from everyone. That's when things started to get weird. It started with bumps in the night, or swearing I saw something in the corner of my eye, just staring at me. It didn't feel scary most of the time. It sort of felt welcoming, as though telling me that I wasn't alone. I was never alone. Slowly, though, the things that started to happen seemed wrong. It was subtle at first. The people I knew started to distance themselves and get mean. And well, the monsters in the house started to get meaner, scarier. I know I should stop calling them that. They are family after all. And if you guys are reading this, I am sorry, but it was true. Around me, I brought out the worst side of you, and neither you nor I deserved it. I don't hate you, and I didn't choose to end it here because of you. Just that thing was making everyone around me suffer, and I couldn't watch it happen anymore. It wanted me to itself, and that's what it got, and I truly hope that it has left you all alone. We were friends, best friends. It had started to talk to me, whispering in my ear all the things I wanted to hear. I'm not alone. That this is what I deserved. I was good. She was all I needed. She started to use my mom's voice, and for a while, I started to believe that it was actually her. She listened, and she came back for me. I would walk into a room and I would smell peppermint. She used to smell like peppermint, and it would bring me so much joy knowing that she was there, really there. I now know that it wasn't actually her. I know that she would never do the things that it did, and I know she would never hurt me. I started to lock myself in my room, only to go out to use the bathroom. I wasn't hungry, so I would go days without eating, but she would force me to eat and drink enough to survive, but only enough to survive. I started wilting away, losing weight and losing sleep, and when my family left me behind, whether it was on purpose or really bad luck, it gave me peace. She calmed down. She went back to just pushing stuff around and hiding items around the house. She really liked it when we were alone. I liked it when we were alone. You could feel what was like claws in your shoulders, and every wrong step you took, it would get tighter, as though warning me, don't, stop. It made me believe that it actually was her, that she was all I needed. But we couldn't live on the streets. We needed to make friends. We needed a life. She didn't like that. She wanted me to continue on the path that we were going, but I couldn't. I wanted us to live. I wanted us to be together, happy. I moved in with an online boyfriend I had at the time. He was so sweet, but he too started to get mean, possessive. It was so strange. For so long, no one would stay near me. For too long, they would get mean and leave. But he wanted to stay. So we clung on for dear life, though scared we would no longer be alone. Things stopped for a while. There were no more bumps in the night. There was no more anything. Except he was getting meaner and meaner. I couldn't do anything without him getting upset. He would always come cry to me after a huge explosion, saying he didn't mean it. And I knew he didn't. I would always defend him, no matter the harsh words or thoughts by other people who would see the explosions or would see the bruises he made in my heart. He never hit me. Honestly, though, I know it's weird to say, but I wish he had. I wish he would have just given in, so I wouldn't have to watch him suffer, as it made him do and say the things he never really wanted to say. To watch him fight this demon was too unbearable. Sometimes, when he would hug me, I could smell the peppermint, but it was mixed with something awful, a pungent, suffocating smell. I needed to leave. I needed to save him. I needed to save me. Friends who had watched this happen took me in when I ran. I didn't want it. I knew what was going to happen, the thing that always happened, but I didn't want to be alone with her anymore. I was scared. I was tired. I was getting lost, so lost in my head. I even started to smell of the sweet, pungent peppermint smell. It was getting so strong. I started snapping at people too. I too started to get so mean. They started to distance themselves. They stopped inviting me to places, and I just watched it happen. I didn't fight for them to stay, and I started locking myself in my room again. I would sit in bed or on my chair and just stare for hours, hearing her whispering in my ears constantly. I was too scared to fall asleep, but I was tired. So tired. I begged her to stop, to just go away, just for a little while. She did. It was calm, quiet, just for a little. I thought it was safe to finally get some rest. I collapsed into bed and pulled the blanket over my head, hoping just like a scared kid that hiding under the blanket would make the monster go away. As I started drifting off to sleep, I felt someone crawling into bed with me and hugging me from behind. I whipped around, and of course no one was there. I cried out in fear, begging for it to stop, to please stop. She threw my last picture of my mom that I had framed on my desk against the wall, shattering glass everywhere. Then the air around me felt lifted, just for a second, before crashing down. The air seemed so dense, heavy. She banged against the door, and I could feel it. The anger, the claws that were in my shoulder were now in my brain, digging deeper and deeper. I cried again, sobbing, hiding under the covers, shaking, closing my eyes so tight that I thought my eyelids would fuse together. I could feel her again, crawling into bed with me and hugging me from behind, petting my head, just as though trying to comfort me. I must have passed out sometime during the night. I bolted up right out of bed, and looking at me from across the room was the framed picture of my mom, just smiling at me, no broken glass. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Was it just a nightmare? I rubbed my eyes a couple times to see if I was just imagining it. I grabbed the frame and hugged it for dear life. This was it, the day I finally hit my breaking point. I was tired and numb. I could feel nothing but fear and exhaustion. It felt as though all my energy was just sapped out of me. I apologized to her, hugged her tighter, then placed her back on my desk, got up, and finally left my room. I went to my friends and hugged them, which I hadn't done in so long. I apologized for all the inconvenience, told them that I was truly grateful, that no matter how difficult it was to be around me, that even though they distanced themselves, I was so happy to call them my friends. They were the ones who showed me the warmth that I hadn't felt in so long. Of course, they were worried for me. They didn't know that I had chosen to finally make everything stop. It had been 14 years of this, and it was time to make it leave. I had finally broke. I just wanted to be with Mom again. I really am sorry to those who were around me. You didn't deserve this. No one did. Who would have thought that begging would summon something so dark, something so lonely? Mom, I'm coming.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to go check out the writer of this story. If you have any stories that you would like me to read or would like to join me in a recording, don't be afraid to contact me. And until then, I'll see you soon.